Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I am Jenny Thomas, and I am so excited to be with you today. I am a mama of four littles, and I have twin boys and two little girls. And each of my kids have such a sweet spirits, giftings, and needs, as I'm sure all of your children do too. As I've been raising my children alongside my husband, Clay, we have overcome many obstacles, but we've also got the opportunity to celebrate so many joys. However, as we've been raising our children and overcoming milestones, we found the need for a community of friends and family that come together and pray for us, hold our hands, walk alongside us, celebrate the joys. So I want to come today alongside you as a community to support and pray for you and for your family as we raise our kids as kingdom leaders. So each week I get an opportunity to share our journey, our joys that we have with raising our kids. And then we get to have a time of mentorship and join on a community on Zoom so we can come alongside you. So today, if you haven't signed up before, I want you to sign up to come alongside us. I'm going to put the link right here in the chat. Sign up for this Zoom link, and it'll send you a separate email where you can hop on after this and we can come together and pray over our children, celebrate the joys, and just come along as a community as we raise our kids. So click on that link. If you've clicked on it before, you should automatically get an email. So today, I want to talk about our journey of raising kingdom kids through events. I want to share a fun, teachable moment that I got to have this weekend. And as I processed and prayed about it with God, He just showed me some amazing things that I want to share with you all. So this weekend, we got the opportunity to play kickball at our school. Our school hosts this event every single year, and all the families come together. So each families, they're put on different teams together where we get to meet and know new families, and then we get to play kickball and go for the championship. And if you know me, I'm very competitive, and which can be a good thing. However, this is kind of rubbed off on my children. So we were going into it very excited because we want to win. But you know what? What came out of it was awesome teachable moments too. It wasn't just about the winning. However, we almost won. We only got second place, but we were so close. But we also got a fun teachable moments, got to meet new families and interact with them and really build more of a community. And it was really awesome because my boys were pumped. They have been counting down the days until we'd get to play and we get the list of our team. Well, we got a list of our team and we got high school boys, not just high school boys. They are the big football players. So my kids were just sure we are going to win, Mom. We are going to be the champions. Just wait. Do you know how bad they are? Do you know how much they can kick? They're the bad boys, Mom. They're the big football players. And oh, we talked about it day after day after day for 3 days up until the event. And so when it came to the event, my boys were so excited. Adeline, she's like, I just want to be on a team. I don't care. And Eliana, she was out there playing with us too. But the event was awesome. We got to see our children step up and grow. They played positions they'd never played before. They said, hey, I'll do that. They had awesome catches, and the entire team celebrated and lifted Sam up and yeah, and cheered him on and made him feel like he was on cloud nine. There was calls that the umpire made that weren't in our favor, that maybe were questionable. But you know what? It taught us respect. It taught us integrity. And then you know what? As the day continued, it taught us a lot of good life lessons. And it made me realize how important it is for families to go and do these events, to allow that the playing field, God gives us these opportunities as playing fields for us to teach and grow our children and be able to show His love as we do it. So as I was just processing and walking through it and discussing, oh, Mom, do you remember this play? Do you remember that play? Well, what do you think here? Well, why did this happen? Well, I think that was unfair. It allowed me to use this as another teachable moments. And I know previously I've talked about teachable moments, but as I was thinking about it that night and just praying with God and just thanking Him for this awesome opportunity we had, this awesome family time that I got to have, it really just made me go, okay, how can I use each of my moments, each of the events, each of the opportunities we get to spend as a family to teach about God, because that is why we're here, is to teach our kids in the way that they should go. And so as I was thinking about it, God showed me that, number one, our kids were teachable. We allowed our kids to have room to grow, to excel, but they were eager to learn and willing to accept instruction. And this is what we all need to be all the time, even as parents. Every event, everything we go into is be teachable. What is God teaching us? What is He saying to us? What is our teachers or mentors saying? Are we being eager and willing to learn and accept instruction? Or are we kind of stuck and saying, no, it's my way or the highway? For my kids, they were so eager to learn, especially to get to play new positions. And then, of course, those big high school boys, oh my gosh, mom, they told me to play this and they said that I just need to do this. And they were so eager and wanting to and looked up to those bigger kids. What are we looking up to? Are we looking up to our Daddy God, saying, okay, Daddy God, how can I be teachable? Teach me in this moment. I'm eager to learn. Come. And I thought about that, and it kind of struck me of, ooh, in some of my moments, I'm not so teachable. Some of my moments, I'm kind of stuck in my ways. And that, I needed to open up as a parent so I can role model. And my kids were that role model for me in those moments as they were jumping in and playing and doing. And I thought, wow, to have that childlike heart, to always be teachable in every single moment. And it made me go back and think about, okay, this Bible verse, Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. And I thought it was really cool because they had these moments where they were celebrated and they were teachable and they were trainable. And they allowed the big kids to teach them and train them. And when we got back home that day, my kids started playing baseball. And then the next day, they started playing baseball again. And we have a young little boy. And they took the opportunity and they said, come play with us. And they taught him and helped him set up a tee to play. And they were teachable, and then they shared their wisdom, and he was teachable. And I thought, wow, the effects of that. Train them up, and they will not depart from it. And it really made me just start thinking more and more about it. And then God showed me about respect. How, Luke didn't agree with the call, but he needed to respect. And he needed to learn how to deal with his frustrations in a positive way. And how important that is. No matter what we go through, we need to be respectful, and we have to handle our frustrations. We can't lash out. He disagreed that he got out on first. He swore his foot was there, that he beat the ball. But the umpire said, no, sorry, bud, you're out. And he was frustrated. So we took a walk, and I gave him a choice. I said, you have a choice. You can be respectable and honor the umpire, or you know what? You can sit out, because we're not going to have that attitude. You have to control your frustration. You have to control how you respond. And it's okay to agree to disagree, but you got to move on and be a good team player, a good team, have a good team attitude as you're playing. You can't just be frustrated and mopey and pout. And I thought, wow, that was such a good opportunity for him to learn that and the importance of respect. And he did. He sucked it up, said, okay, mom, you're right. I'm just going to agree to disagree, but I'm going to go play and I'm going to have a good attitude. Because you know who that umpire was? The umpire was another kid that volunteered to do that. That volunteered to be the umpire so we could play this game. So we also need to honor him. And you know what? When we lost the game, it was by a foot. Otherwise, it would have tied and we would have went into overtime again. And Sam was sure. No, he was safe. He was safe. His foot was there. No. But you know what? At that same time, and it was a bummer to lose. But I looked at Sam and I said, are we respecting the game? Are we honoring our umpire? He took a deep breath and said, you're right, Mom. The message that I was trying to teach my children in this was we can't always control the calls. Sometimes they are right and we're wrong. Sometimes they're wrong and we're right. But you can control how you respond. And so as we were driving home and we were talking about it, we were talking about the importance of respect and the importance of controlling yourself. And, we had a lot of great examples of parents who controlled themselves and parents who didn't. Because it all comes out, because we are all competitive and we all want to win, even though it is for our school and it is a kid's game and we are being role models for our kids. But we talked about that and how did they want to be? And the other thing that I got to see that was so awesome was they cheered on their classmates. They cheered on the kids that they knew. And it was so cute. Sam was pitching and the ball came and they had just bunted it and he could have gotten this first grader out. But he said, Mom, I'm just going to hold the ball and let her get on base. Because Mom, she kicked it so hard and she gave it her all that, you know what? She deserved to get on base. And I thought, how awesome is that? And you know what? Another time, Addie, she blocked the ball and she said, Mom, I had to block that on purpose because this kid had never made it home. And, she's just a kindergarten and she needs to know what it feels like to make it home. And she did. She turned and blocked that ball with her back and the ball went rolling the other way. We're like, get the ball, get the ball. And she said, nope, that kid deserved to get home. Doesn't it feel good that we all get to get home? That we all get to get that point and get that cheering? And I thought, how awesome is that? That respect. Because we know in Romans 13, 1-7, we know that if we respect and honor God, because it talks about it in the Bible, and in that passage, Paul reminds us that all authority comes from God. So when we respect people in authority, and when we love one another, we're showing God. And I thought, how awesome that AA was showing God in that moment, that the boys learned to have respect and honor God and his authority. How cool is that? That moment of just playing kickball, which was only 6 kickball games. We got integrity. One of our high school players got tagged and the umpire said he's safe. But he said, no, actually, my foot wasn't fully on the base when he tagged me, so actually I am out. How awesome of an example was that? That was huge for my kids to see. Because no matter what we did, and, we could have won right that moment, because he could have continued on. And we were already ahead. But instead he said, nope, I'm out. So we had to switch and we had to hurry because then it was tied. And before that 20 minutes, before that cowbell rang, we had to hurry and play. But that integrity of doing what was right was such an awesome example for my kids. Because you know what? Sometimes our actions speak louder than our words. And that action of him doing that was a huge moment that my kids won't forget. And we talked about it afterwards and the integrity and how great that was. And it's funny because my kids reminded me of the ice. They're like, but Mom, do you know who also showed integrity? It's like, who, honey? You, Mommy, you didn't. I'm like, well, what did I do? I'm thinking, I don't know where I showed integrity. And it's funny, we had to go get all the ice. So we went and got bags of ice and I was having everybody carry 2 bags. And AA said, oh, I can only carry 1, Mom. It's too heavy. Okay, fine. You know what? Then we'll only have 7 bags. I don't know. We were going to get a couple extra, but it's no big deal. So we went up to the cash register. He said, how many do you have? I have 7 bags of ice. Okay. And so the kids went out and we're getting them ready in the cooler and I paid and we go out there. And as I started counting and putting 2 in each of the coolers, when it got to the last cooler, I was like, whoa, we have 2 here. How many bags of ice? We started counting. We had 8. And I'm like, how did we get 8? And Lucas said, oh, Mom, when Addie couldn't do it, I went ahead and grabbed it for her and just told her I could carry 3. And I was like, oh, well, we haven't paid for that. Hold on. So I went back in, paid for the other bag of ice. And then we came back and we left and I thought nothing of it. But to my kids, they're like, Mom, you didn't have to. Nobody knew that you had 8 bags, but you had integrity, Mom. Wow. They saw that. And to me, it was a no big moment. Oops. Hey, you just run back into CVS, pay for that next bag. Not a big deal, but it mattered. The other thing was they saw perseverance. Our first game we won, our second game we lost. So we went into the loser's bracket and we had to, because it was double elimination, make it back into the winner's bracket. So we had to have perseverance. We had to keep playing and we were hot and there were back-to-back games and it's 87 degrees and we're all sunburned from it. Whereas, the white team, they won the whole time and they only had to play 4 games. So we were hot, we were tired, but we didn't give up. And everybody pressed forward. And even though we lost at the end, we all were so happy and we all played as a team and we learned a lot of lessons. We played under pressure. We went into overtime. And I think how awesome that this was, that we persevered through it, that opportunity to teach them how to deal with failure in a positive way. Because you know what? In reality, it wasn't. It was just a game and it was a fun game. But, using that example of this sport, they can use those lessons in life. Self-esteem. Sam, he only plays lacrosse. Oh my goodness. Lacrosse and golf. He used to play baseball. He used to play basketball. But some of our kids had some not such nice words, and he lost that confidence. And we've been trying to build it and encourage him. But he's like, nope, I'm not good at sports. I don't play that. I do my woodworking. And it drove me nuts. But you know what? He stepped up and said, you know what? I want to play. He volunteered to kick first. He was the pitcher for it. And you know what? He caught this ball that was able for us to go on to championship. Ran up and caught this huge ball that this guy kicked. And you know what? They lifted him up and they cheered and yeah for him. And I saw more self-confidence in him than I had seen in any other sport. And for the first time, he said, you know, Mom, I think I am kind of good at sports. Yes, you are. You know, and I just praise God that, you know what? Each child has such unique characteristics and unique moments and special moments where God is helping them navigate it and discover their ways. But I thought of it as his parents, we have to step in and do some things like play kickball, even when we're old and it hurts and we don't feel like it. Because you know what? That built so much self-esteem in Sam. Our attitude. You know, the best teams are not always made up of the greatest athletes, but when they accept their role in the team and have a positive attitude, they can win. You know, players focus on the teams, on the greater good, not on their own self. Your child's attitude, whether good or bad, can determine how far they go in life. And I told my kids that. You've got a choice. If you get a bad attitude, you get upset with the you're going to lose. It's not going to get you very far in life. Or you can choose a positive attitude. And you know what? Our girls had positive attitude the whole time. Ellie ran around the field, was barefoot, you know, dodged the ball. Everybody dodged her. She lived life. She was so happy and cheered us on. Addie, her best friend, came and played on our team. And my goodness, they were being silly and cheering us on and making us all giggle and enjoy the game. They brought so much joy and so much positive attitude that we couldn't help but smile as we're playing. You know, and it's one of those things that I challenged them to be optimistic, to be that person that has that positive attitude. So as I was thinking through it and just praying through each moment and what we talked about and our family, it made me realize that God put us in these situations, in these teachable moments to help us as parents grow and succeed and to allow a platform for our kids to grow and receive from God and show his love and teach them how they should be, teach them how they should act. Because you got to go in and experience it. You got to have a playing field. If you don't, you never learn. You know, so I thought, gosh, as parents, we also need to be moldable and be examples so we can be teachable. We can be respectful, model that behavior our children need to see. Full of integrity. Persevere, no matter how tired and exhausted we are and have so many choices and we have a list this high to do. Have self-esteem in ourselves. Stand for who we are. Don't let the world knock us down as parents or feed into, oh, we're not good enough, or no, we can't do this, or we're not doing it right. Have that positive attitude. Because in everything we do, if we can, our God is going to honor us and our children are going to see it. And it made me think of Proverbs 9:9. And let me put this up here for everybody. You know, give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in his learning. And so, you know, today I just really pray that we get wisdom and understanding and not forget it. That we honor each of these moments and honor the ability that God gives us, that he gives us the opportunities to use these experiences to teach our kids, to grow our kids in his way, to be those honorable children that he created them to be, to allow them to deal with losing. You know, that's a good thing. To be able, I'm a competitive, so I don't like to lose, but it's a good thing for them to see that and learn, how do I handle this emotion? Because if we don't teach our kids how to handle these emotions, how to handle these upsets, then you know what? They're going to throw fits. They're not going to know. They're going to be terrible team players. They're going to be terrible at sports because they're going to be those kids that are ugly and nasty. And that's not who God created anybody to be. But as parents, we have to step up and teach them. And so I just pray that this week we take some opportunities, we take a moment to go play with our kids, to teach them those life skills, to be who God created them to be. That we can celebrate the joys, we can celebrate losing. But what we do, we're teachable, we're respectable, and we honor God in everything that we do. And I pray that for myself too. Everything that I put my hands to this week, that I am all of those things, because that's going to make a bigger impact than anything else. So, guys, as I share this, let's go ahead, let's hop on Zoom and talk about opportunities, times that we can take, and our experiences that we can use to teach our kids and show our kids all that God can do in each of these moments and the life skills that we're teaching them by playing kickball, by jumping on a game of kickball. And I will tell y'all, I am sore as sore can be. I used muscles I didn't know. I slid. I have bumps and bruises, but it was the most fun time. And I would go play it every weekend again. I'd do it all over again. So, guys, I'm going to put this in the comments again. If you're new, click on the link and sign up. There, all right, there you go. And if not, if you have the link already, I will see you on the backside in just a few minutes.